Hi there, it's Editor Rensler, and the first part of episode 4 was lost. We had technical difficulties, and here's how the series of events went. Started recording, technical problems. Then life stuff happened. Then we came back and continued the episode. We're going to jump into this at that continuation, so enjoy. And we time traveled. Hi. We were mid-episode, and then something happened, and I had to go do something else for a while. Was it awesome? No. 0 out of 10, would not recommend. Am I ever going to explain what it was? Also, no. I am not. But we are back. That's the important bit. We're back now. So, it was not left running while I was not at my desk, but what I do know is that we have a conveyor node junction now right there, so I can grab mats from the top. So I don't have to go underneath the landing pad anymore to get anything. So we are going to try to blaze through. It is a big deal to have this like this. Yeah. I cannot prove or disprove this, and I think we'll try to figure it out eventually. Is there a difference in economics if I leave the iron in my backpack or if I have the machines in my base make the plates for me and then I keep the plates, right? And I transfer the plates to my inventory. Does that matter? Nice. And then we'll do here. Nice. Nice. Okay. And that wasn't me. That was not any kind of gesture. That was me trying to see if I was already crouching. That's all. So. Okay, we're actively mining more iron. We do just need ridiculous amounts of iron. Let's just be honest with that. This takes so much iron to weld these things up. And it is the middle of the night in the game. So, yes, that's my thing that says, yo, base, yo. So now we're going to mine this stuff out, and I remember at least some of my monologue about Sam Altman and us using our drill. There's only the drill in the mines and all of that. I watched that earlier today while I was doing the preliminary edit for episode 3. I think I did okay trying to make it at least mildly entertaining to watch a player in Space Engineers 2 try to fill the time while doing what I'm doing right now, which is just, we're just mining some ore. And what's wild is because these iron deposits are so small, that almost the amount of resources required to build a system to go get them isn't worth it, because it costs almost more than that in material just to get there. So by the time you reach your destination, you will have already mined the destination for everything you needed. For example, I just picked up 5 something tons on that trip right there, and I just spent it. It's all gone now. It is, at least to me, shocking how much iron you can use in such a short period of time. It is, you can have so much, and I still want to point out that we can make absolutely so many solar panels with the amount of silicon that we have. And I won't overuse the term shocking because I don't like doing that. I also don't like repeating myself that much. But I will use a different word. It is an absolutely absurd amount of solar panels that we can make with the amount of silicon that we have. How much silicon do we have? Over 100 kilotons of it. Over 100 kilotons. That's... I'm not an expert, but I think that's a lot.
Inventory full.
And you know what we're going to do? We've got the silicon. We're just going to make some... We're going to make some solar panels. That's what we're going to do. Okay. We've got that. Let's see. Can I make it not look ugly? I can. All right. Okay, we'll do that one there. And we'll go like that. Sure. I was going to say, I am not an obstruction, sir. Cool. And now I can do this. Making sure this is actually correct. It is not. That is also not correct. There we go. There we go. Something like that. And we don't care about not having the iron. This isn't about having the iron anyway. And now we're just welding a pair of solar panels at a time. Fantastic. So what this will do is give us the ability to charge our batteries faster, but also have a maximum output increase. So if we have additional machines that are drawing additional current, then the panels will be able to provide that, even if they're not charging the batteries, right? Let's say we hit the maximum discharge rate of the batteries, which is what I expect us to eventually hit. So what happens then? Well, the batteries start
Inventory
draining
full.
because that's how power works. But if it's not just the battery's job to output power and all of these solar panels are able to output a lot of that power, then the base, what it'll do is try to use the excess power first, and then it will eat into the power that's charging the batteries, and eventually you may hit a discharge rate that exceeds the charge rate, which means now it's about battery capacity, right? And so now we have power generation, but what we don't have is power storage. So while we're waiting for our drill of destiny over there, which we can still see because of the spotlight that I put on it, which I think is kind of hilarious, we are going to build a battery array. I think for this playthrough, we can put it on the roof. Generally, that is hilariously dangerous because its battery's exposed. And they're easy to blow up. Let's just be honest with ourselves. So if they're easy to blow up, then they will be blown up. Yada, yada, yada. Whatever. Heavy plates, lead bars, and motherboards. So heavy. I'm gonna need production here. I don't know, give me 50. Okay. Motherboards, give me all that. Wire. Yeah, give me that. Lead bars.
Suit energy low.
Okay. Lead bars, good. So the good news is because our drill is doing its job, what it's going to do is keep making steel plates because I ordered something more complex. And the system, as smart as it is, will just try to make the prerequisite components so I get the thing that I ordered. Which is awesome. That way I can say I want heavy duty plates and it will make the things that are components of that heavy duty plate to give me what I want.
Inventory full.
I don't need motors.
Inventory full.
I don't need that.
Inventory full.
Okay. No, I don't want that. Sweet. Okay. Sweet. So now I have 2 more batteries. I need more heavy duty plates. So instead of having to go all over the place, I can just go here. All right, well, I don't have those plates. That's fine. Cool. So now I have more power. So I mean, honestly, we don't need that smaller battery, right? So we've got, let's see. Yeah, we've got 3 batteries, 4 batteries that are at 30%. This one's at 99%. So it's getting input because it's what's left of the output of our wind turbine, because it is generating power. Because not only is there no sun, so none of the solar panels can do their job, but also that because we have lights and a drill set up like this, you need power to run all of this. So because we're using power to run all of this, this is what we end up getting. And if you take a look at this, so this super dark here, that's nickel. But this other stuff that's lighter, that's brown, that's dirt, which means that is, for us, iron. All the rest of this over here is silicone, but at least that right there is iron. Just think of it. That's our starter drill hole. And then we graduated to this. Also pointing out the fact that once this gets all the way down, we can extend this whole thing and have it mine more. But I only wanted to like drill out this section. So we may just have to move it, but we'll get there. We'll get there. It's fine. We'll get there. Oh, drill, you're just so useful. Okay, so while that's been doing its thing, right? So we go iron.
Inventory full.
All right, so now I come over here. How simple that was.
Inventory full.
She sounds so much like a Debbie Downer when she says that. Inventory full. And yes, I kind of almost broke my guy's legs there. But that's... honestly, that's the price of being an engineer, bro. But yeah, think of it this way. Think of us being able to use the fruits of our labor from that, which we will, to make more iron drills, right? Okay, so all right. So the sun is about to come up. So what we need to do is be serious about our next dig site, right? Isn't it this way? Isn't it off this? Yeah, I thought it was over here. Yeah, it's one of these spots. But I can't see enough to know. It's about the height. Yeah, roughly here. So what does that look like when I'm looking back at the base? It looks like because that's only one block below. Okay. I mean, that should be fine. So here's what that means. So we go here, 4. We do 4, and then we do a node junction. Yeah, and that lines up. Yep. And we do straights. And then we bring the conveyors over, right? Yeah, there we go. It's what, roughly right there? Right there. Because I'm okay. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Yep. All right. Okay. So then we do this. So that gives me my center point. So then I will go. Let's see. We go down a piston. Right? So we hit 6. We go down a piston, and then we have to weld that. On the end of the piston, it will be the node junction. Then we go down, and we basically push the head all the way down until we just hit drills. Then we do have to obviously put the rotor in. So the rotor will be the thing, and then the drills. Okay. So all of this is iron. All of these guys here is iron. Right. So we're going to come over here. Iron. And load our inventory up. We're going to have 2 of these at a time. And I don't know if the light color means anything. I don't know what it is, so tell me in the comments if the light means anything or the color. Because I'm colorblind, so I don't know. All right, well, because I had to go back for other stuff, I might as well come back for this. And okay. All right. Come on now. I don't think we're going to make it there, but we're going to get close. So, like I've said many times before, yes, I understand how boring this can get. If I can make it less boring, then I will. I have told you in the past that I was going to, in this episode, oh yeah, finish out getting iron and welding out this stuff, but I wanted to keep talking to you guys. I didn't want to just kind of zombie my way through it, you know? There are many other creators on YouTube that really do give you that full experience, and they're fantastic for that. And I love them for it. And I don't want to shirk my responsibilities. I don't want to say, oh, this is just difficult, come back later kind of thing. I don't want to do that. They don't do that. Other creators are amazing and they show you the entire process. And sometimes it can be annoying, sometimes it could be great and fascinating, and I want to show you that. So I'll just get me one more pair. Yeah. So it's 290 kilograms of iron ore required per section. And there are many sections. Yes, I've built a longer conveyor system, but my flabbers are gasted that you cannot grab stuff out of the end of a connector. But early access, this game is obviously not done at all, and that is absolutely a thing that could change. And if they will do me a favor, and they most definitely might, and expose some of the coding for me, if that's not a base feature, I will mod it. By the way, we are using a mod, everybody. Go ahead and go to the link in the description, or go to Space Engineers 2 and search for Rensselaer QOL mod pack. I don't know if it says mod pack. It's Rensselaer's Quality of Life mod. That is my mod. I wrote it. So it is not a joke. It's not a goof or anything. It's a real thing. And it doesn't require special install scripts or any of that. No elevated permissions, none of that other stuff. It is installed the normal way you would normally install a mod from Steam, where the game natively supports it, because yes, this one does. We're getting there on iron. We're almost there. What I can tell you is that our solar array is going to be ready, and we have enough battery now that we have significant battery storage. So our base can keep running. Because what's better than having a drill like this running? The answer is 2 of these drills running. Because this guy's doing a great job of getting me iron. But I need more iron faster. And the solution to that, of course, is more drills. All right, so. Now the good news is once I get this node junction welded up here on the edge, then I can stay here and get mats from it. Okay, so a quality of life improvement, something I am happy about, is that you can, in Space Engineers 2, interact with conveyor node junctions and pull materials and interact with the inventory with it, because you could not do that on SE1. I don't even know, and I am serious, if there was a mod for that. Let's see, steel plates, permanent magnets, and steel tubes. Okay. All right. So steel, just steel by itself, or iron, sorry, will get me everything I need. Okay, so that gets me that. But I also need this. And I need a metal grid. Yeah, the gun always does something weird with that. Doesn't make sense. Okay. So now we have a piston, right? So if we take, what is it? Here, this. We come down here. So right about there, I guess. Sure. And we hit 8. And we take our rotor. Okay. So I need nickel. Iron and nickel. Okay. Iron. Okay. Okay, it should be enough. All right, cool. All right, sweet. So now what we have is 5. Sorry. So now what we have is let's see. We have a feeder line that is fixed. We have a piston that will let us plunge. Now we have a rotor head that will spin. So now we need a head there and a fit test for the drill.
Suit energy low.
We're going to call that fit test good enough. Let me get up above the tree line. And for the dig sites, I think we'll have to start making more survival kits. I think now with our resources, making another survival kit is what I would consider a good idea. All right. Compressors and wire. Okay. Notice how when I tap on this grid, that nothing happens and I have to swap grids. All of that makes sense, and that's because now that I'm on the end of a something, yeah, it's fine. We're short one plate. That I have to have separated grids. Okay. So we're going to come over here and go to control panel and go to our drill. Turn on mining. I'm just slamming into trees now. It's okay. The drill rotating will take care of the trees. Don't even worry about that. Yeah, I may have to raise the drill one block. Yeah, let's just raise the drill one block. Now's the time to do it. And I know how we'll do it too. We'll just get rid of this node junction. We'll just put the drill directly on here. Just like that. All right. So now we've got this guy, control panel, drill, mine. Okay. And we're going to take this grid, iron, drill, 02, enter. So now if I type iron drill 02, when something belongs to it, it should, right? So if we go back to control panel and we see here, iron drill 02, center. So now if I go iron drill or just iron drill 02 center, so now I've got the name of my object inside the name of the correct grid, right? So this is a rotor inside of a piston grid, right? So you've got main grid is your base, then you've got your piston grid because it's the plunge, and then this is the rotational grid. So what we will do is what we've been doing. So we take 4. Did I make a thing for this? I thought it was this. Yeah, it was. 1, 2, 3, 1. Come on. 2, 3. And then a 7. And then a 5. 1, 2, 3. 7, like that, right? There we go. So now I need a boatload of compressors. Okay. So comp. You'll notice I have to go back 2 grids to get them, right? I need steel plates. Now you'll see that not anywhere do I have appropriate amount of steel plates, right? So we're going to give it a little bit of that, give it a little bit of that, get some of this, get some of this, do this. All the vagueness, right? So now we're using our compressors, we're using our wire, we're going to finish out the plates on this guy. Okay. Cool. So what we do is we come to the back end here. We go to control panel. We see these are right. Iron drill 02 underscore 01. Then we grab this and we copy it. Okay. So 1 and 2 in center, right? So we enable the drills. We set them to mine. Perfect. Right? So now we look at the rotor, right? Because we've got your rotor, bro. We know that which one that is, right? And that's only because I named it. So this is iron. This is iron drill rotor. Okay. And so it's iron drill rotor center, just so it's not called the exact same thing, right? And minus 0.05. Well, 0.034. Actually, no, 0.34 is what we want. Okay. So now we've started it, right? Now I don't have to change the rotational speed at all on this guy. I can just keep adding drills when I decide to. But now we need to get this to a plunge depth where it actually starts doing something. So we need to decide where our high spot is. Clearly it's over here. It's right about here. Right about here. So yes, it's going to take 3 minutes for this thing to rotate all the way. But we're also designing it so we can have at least this is 7.5 plus 7 point. No, it's 5. So it's 10, 12.5 offset plus a whole bunch. So this will be a sizable drill because it doesn't have any of that offset. So that's fine, whatever. We're going to look at our high spot here. Yeah, I think we can safely go down 5 meters. So I want to make a change while I can see what's happening. So
Suit energy low.
yeah, all right. One thing that will happen very, 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 very quickly is you will constantly and consistently run your suit out of battery if you are active. And obviously I recommend that you're active. Okay, so this is the high, okay, that's the high spot. So what we're going to do is come right up here. And just starting off, we'll do is piston. So that's my base, right? Max distance 15. So that's the other piston. This grid is just the grid. That doesn't make sense. These don't tell me where they are. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I was just trying to look at the rotor and contemplate life. Well, then the next thing you do is you futz with the settings and see if it moves. Honestly. Okay. Iron drill, piston. Okay. Oh, look at this. That's the sunny sun. Oh, look at the sunny sun. All right, so this can go down 5 meters, yeah. So now the issue is, or the question, whatever, is how. All right. How can I actually see what I'm doing to extend this out enough, right? Because this game has cool stuff in it, but it doesn't have remote control just yet. Okay. We're going to set the maximum distance to 5. There we go. And this will require more drills because of how I set the head up, right? I didn't put a sideways piston on the head. I just let it run. This should be all right. And just watch this just for a little bit, just to observe and see if it gets hung up on anything. Should be all right. The biggest thing is when the terrain is so high that it ends up being above the back of the cutter head. Don't give me grief about this, dude. You're the one who told me that these have to be exactly this far apart, because if they're not, then you won't let them run. You won't let them be next to each other. You will say they are colliding. And while I don't agree with that, you don't care. Okay. So that's working. All right. So now what we do is we make a new set of timers. Ten hard drives, 2 motherboards. Okay. Hard. No. Okay. And hard drives. I think we have motherboards. Yeah. I don't need 37 motherboards. There. Oh, I need 20 hard drives. All right, what do we run out of? Nothing. All right. I need a hard drive. All right, cool. So now, just like we did with the other pistons and rotors and drills and all of that, this is important, okay? So, iron drill 02 on. Off. So when this triggers, just like that just did, this will be on for 1 second, and then it will do the following. If we look at iron drill, right? If I just say iron drill, I should see piston, right? That's the one we want. So what we do is we take iron drill piston, and this is going to set the piston velocity to 0. Because while this timer is in its delay phase, that is when the piston is moving. So after the 1 second that it's supposed to be moving, what am I doing? I am setting the piston velocity to 0, right? And then I trigger the other timer. So then I set this and I tell it to start. So iron drill on tells the piston to stop and triggers iron drill off. Iron drill off will wait 3 minutes, and then it will set the piston velocity to 0.1. and then it will start iron drill on. So on sets piston velocity, waits 1 second. It waits 1 second, and that is important. It does nothing else rather than wait. When it's done waiting, it sets piston velocity 0, triggers off. While off is waiting, the piston does nothing because it's been set to off, and this just chills out for 3 minutes to let the thing make an entire rotation because it's doing 0.34 rotations in a minute, which is 1.02 rotations. And then it triggers, it sets the velocity to 1 second and triggers iron drill on start. And as the cycle repeats for 1 second, the drill extends at 0.1 meters per second, and then it comes back. So what we do to get this going, we say trigger now. So now what has happened is I have manually advanced this drill by 0.1 meters. So now there will be a point where it will start drilling out its space. And you may ask, why did I set the speed so slow? It's a great question, and here's the answer. When I add more drills to this to make it cut a wider swath, I won't have to adjust the speed. It's already at the slowest speed. And while I want resources now, it is not a need. There's not an in-game thing that is preventing me from this. It's basically our own progress, right? So, I am not in a race to get them right now. And honestly, I might actually be able to extend these while it's running. Now, it's not a good idea. You should bring it all the way back to the top, build your drill out, clear the debris, and then run the drill. Doesn't necessarily mean that I have to, but I can. The good news is now, until that piston is fully extended, I don't have to do anything with this. I can just let it go. Yeah, this did a great job on height. That's fantastic. Love it. Yeah. Because this is 15 meters, but it's 15 divided by 4. So even at 3.5 meters per, that's still only 14. You have 1 more meter to go. So it's 3.75. 3.75 meters is the distance between this edge bit there and where this head breaks and says, you know, section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. It's 3.75 meters. Because 3.75 times 2 is 7.5, and that times 2 is 15, and that is the extension limit of this piston. So 15 divided by 4 is 3.75. And based on that, this should be able to get all of that dirt. See, this is excellent. See, I figured I would not need another piston, and I'm super happy that I was actually, you know, accurate for once. So that guy is getting a bunch of iron, right? But now, so is this guy. And sure, fine, this guy's... Yeah, let's go back. Look at what we've built. Look at all this cool stuff that we've built. Isn't this amazing? We're not done. Psh, we're just getting started. Yes, I said it. I said the cliche line. Deal with it. Let's see and take a look at our iron.
Inventory
Yeah.
full.
Sweet. All right. So let's finish welding this bad boy up. Because now I've got multiple drills doing my iron bitting, right?
Inventory full.
Nice. I'm going to have to yeah, I'm gonna have to update the mod. I'm gonna have to update the mod to increase the player's carrying capacity.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. I understand it was a little bit quiet there. I understand, I get it.
Inventory full.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to be increasing the player's inventory. Almost there. Almost there.
Inventory full.
We did it, everyone. We did it. We have successfully welded the entirety of our landing pad. Yeah, this welder is huge for being able to weld up small ships. Because it will let me get to things that I normally could not view, right? So that's a big deal. That's actually a huge deal. So that's over there doing its job. This is over here being slow about it, but it's doing its job. Yeah, I think it's moving. Iron. Okay. Yep, okay. Yeah, it's all configured correctly. Oh, also, you don't end up with like 5 stacks of the same mineral. It actually is separating out minerals correctly, which is good. Oh, let's take a look at our solar. Okay. So they're not all getting direct sun, but they're doing what they can. This room does look pretty cool with it not all totally welded up. Also, we have to have more lights in it, but you understand. Then you come out here and look at this. Yeah, that's not a new thing. That camp is not new. That's the normal camp that I wiped out a while ago. Okay, let's see. That's to create a blueprint. F10 should be my blueprint button, yeah? Let's see. F1. Shift G. Yeah, I wanted to make a... Yeah, the USNC Infinity. The Infinita. And I have a micro miner. That's not my grammar. Yeah, I made my own test. So there's this guy. That is not a small ship, sir. Okay, Shift G. Let's see. All right, so we'll do this. Place. See, where's the connector? There we go. No more having to fiddle with projectors. Gonna say, now you done it. You let me start welding something. Iron, silicone, and nickel. I can do that. Give me a second. Three. Then iron, right?
Inventory full.
No. That's not what I said. I need turbine blades. All right. Turb.
Inventory full.
There we go. This is what's so awesome about being able to use a backpack like this, is that I can just load up with a bunch of mats instead of having to constantly go back for stuff that I can't make. Also, the fact that it's going to give me a completed blocks count, right? So I may not know exactly what's left, but it'll at least tell me that something is not built correctly, which is a start. Short on iron, that's not a big deal.
Inventory full.
Because you would say, well, what would you use this drill for, right? Why are you building this at all? This is a plunge drill. That is a ship. So I can fly directly over the rich iron deposits. 3 wire and 6 compressors. It's not a big deal. Okay. Wires, compressors, boom. I will get this ship working. Damn it. I gotta say, building in this game is really cool. I understand if you're on the fence about wanting to play this game or put any time or money into it. I get it. Out of iron again. It makes sense. This is not a dainty ship. Iron again. All right. Short on iron? Yep. 2 more wire. Okay. All right, come on now. Come on now. Okay, well, that first drill is basically almost done. Yeah, see, it just cycled. Only right there is it getting me the precious iron that I want. That's the other drill. Yep. Steel plates, electronic parts. Let's see. So before it was complaining about no attachable points or any of that. So it's not complaining about that anymore anyway. Because I don't care which blocks are not welded, just as long as I have the mats to weld them, it's fine. Yeah, all right. Hmm. Okay, so let's see. Iron drill. So I'm going to let this run, and I'm going to trigger it again. Yeah, that's actually good. What? I'm a numpty. I'm a numpty. That's funny as heck. It was allowed to go all the way down to exactly 5 meters and then stop because I set an artificial plunge limit to double check to make sure I wasn't going to slam the drills directly into the ground. And when I set up the automation and said that's going to work perfectly forever, what I did not do, reset the maximum distance the piston's allowed to move. So a normal, mundane detail is what prevented this guy here from properly doing his job. But he was doing everything that I told him precisely how I wanted him to do it within the limits that I defined. So, I'm sorry, Drill. This one wasn't your fault. This one was on me. You did everything that I requested exactly how I requested it, but I just gave you a limitation that you said, well, I can't go past this, and you didn't. So, thanks for that. Thank you for following the rules. I'm a moron. So also what that means is that this guy has been doing all of the duties, and he's got to be pretty close to full extension. Honestly, I think we're there. You might have just a little bit more in terms of extension that you can go, but just like that. But there's not going to be many more of those. So I set a limit on the piston. That's my fault. Okay. All right. Well, we're not gonna keep harping on that topic. We're just gonna keep going here. So we are welding up blocks. Oh, cool. We ran into something that's not iron. I'm fine with that.
Inventory full.
657 tons of nickel. I like it. I think it's hilarious. Go. This area welder it's baller, dude. I'm telling you. If you're playing this game and you say, hey, what's one of the biggest quality of life things that the game just has natively? I'm going to tell you right now, dude. Area welding has got to be one of them. It's pretty sweet.
Inventory full.
I double clicked it and nothing happened, so. And all of this because I was willing to run into the middle of a projected model. But this also does answer the question for myself, for me personally, of do you have to have a projector set up and power and all that other stuff to be able to build stuff in survival? Answer obviously is no. if you spawn in a blueprint, the projector steps, stuff, nonsense, whatever you want to call it, that's just done already. A million out of a million do recommend. Okay, we need more iron. It's bonkers how much iron this game needs. Yeah. We need more literal tons of the ironies. So, iron, drill. So whenever I want more iron out of that drill sooner, what I do is I trigger it to extend. Because what happens is, if I trigger it, it does its job, but that starts the other timer, it does its job, and then it starts this timer again, which means I can just interrupt the cycle by hitting a manual override on it, but I don't trip up the cycle itself. What I'm doing is I'm getting rid of the delay once, but the normal cycle continues and the delay is reintroduced. Okay, so since this is taking too long, I'm going to go over here real quick and just get the 4 or 5 tons of iron I need to solve this thing. So I'm doing something that we should not have to do that much more. Which is mine this stuff out by hand. But we will be mining it out by hand because right now, unfortunately, it's faster. Yes, okay. Okay, so the point is, I wonder if there's a point where I can see if there's any incomplete blocks. I think if I... Okay. It doesn't say that there is. Okay, so it thinks we're part of the same block. So K connector. Right. Oh, that's not good. I think the ship got welded to the base. Did the ship get welded to the base? That's not good. I'm a ship. That's what it is. Let's see. Good Lord. All right.
Inventory full.
All right. Well, this is a dumb problem to have. I'm going to have to sort this out later. At least that stuff won't get destroyed. Are you a ship now? Yes. And you're incomplete. I got a fast load. Okay, so I had to fast load. So, a couple things happened, but it's okay. We're going to get through it. Okay? So we noticed that some of the ship was not done. I need more iron. That's all right. So there was a point where the ship, as in right now, is welded to the base. So right now, something does not agree that the ship and the base are separate. This is okay. This is fine. The reason why the ship could not tell me stuff was not all the way built is because it wasn't even aware it was supposed to be there. All right. So if we go right here.
Full.
Okay. So that thruster there was the catalyst.
Suit energy low.
Okay. So I need iron. Right? Construction components, yeah. Life support in danger. Hold on a second. All right. So clearly what you need to do is do all this. What you need to do is all of this on a riser, right? Don't bolt it to the ship, or don't bolt it to your base directly. I mean, honestly, if we get this thing to fly and all it doesn't have is that one thing, okay, yeah. It's missing one downward spotlight. I don't care. Okay. So now what this does not have is the same enhancements for it doesn't have the same enhancements for ore detection that I do. And it said I'm allowed to load it up to 80% before it flips out. So this is basically a manual tunnel boring machine, but it's only designed to dig plunge holes. There you go. There's a plunge hole right there. So you go to inventory right away. We look at iron. Just that little bit, we have 9 or 10. Of iron, right? That's not bad. So now what we do is we come over here to this iron. All right, we're at 9,400, 9,500, whatever it is. How did I get stuck? Did I break the thrusters? No. I'm wondering what happened. Hmm. I don't know why, but this thing is legitimately stuck. I'm gonna try and... Okay. Get me out of this stupid hole. So the primary gripe I have about this ship design is that while it digs a perfectly good plunge hole that perfectly fits the size of the ship, the problem is it's so good that it gets the ship stuck. right? The hole is so perfect that the ship gets stuck. Yeah, you don't have a piston, you idiot. Yeah, see, the gyros really try, and that's another thing that we did with our mod pack, is that we make it so the gyros really are tryhards in terms of trying to control ships, yeah? Yeah, see how well this is working now? But this is great because I don't have to be concerned about the inventory of my guy, right? But what I would like to see, and I think we're going to make some modifications to this blueprint, is that the overall cutting head is bigger than the profile of the rest of the body of the ship. So K, drill, base, off, right? But so if I want iron on the top, I press and hold left click, right? And I'm mining now. So what I do is in small increments, I mine down almost the length of the ship, right? So now what I'm doing is I'm pressing and holding right click, and this is my clear, right? This is not mining. This is just clearing, because I don't really care about all this nickel, yeah? So if I press and hold right click, let's see what kind of plunge I can do. And what I'm doing is I'm moving about 10 meters at a time. And slowly backing it out to see, you know, how much of this am I scraping against or hitting on. You should be able to hear the ship. You should be able to hear metal against rock, honestly. And now I see the beginning of iron, right? Now we've got 40, 50. $70. We're at 100. And we did it. Okay, what happened? Did the light bulb? The light bulb stopping us? No. Is this an issue where the ship's too heavy?
Inventory full.
All right, that's the bottom of the ship. I only weigh 151 kilograms, 51,000 kilograms. Are you saying that as a boring system, I can't load up this much? Oh, I know what it's saying. I know what it's saying. I have about 2 minutes, maybe, to swap out. There's an antenna on it. It's fine. We know where it is. Before I swap out the power modules, before the batteries die on it.
Inventory full.
God dang it. 1 second. I need to get rid of something in my inventory to have any chance here. Oh, that's funny. Its own indicator is also ya base, which is wrong, but whatever. All right, ya base. Batteries. Where are your battery terminals, Brad? That's a connector. Put my hands away. Let's see. Batteries. Cargo container. The cockpit. Where can I need to give you some more batteries, bro. Let's see. Batteries. Okay. The ship will be dead in 30 seconds. Unless I can find the battery array and swap out the module. Where's the fucking terminal? Yes, I know, it failed. Stop dancing. One, two, and three. And four. I only grabbed 4 battery modules. Interesting. All right.
Inventory full.
I gotta go make flights to dump the inventory that you can't carry. So that's obviously another design flaw in the ship, is that it's built for a weight that it cannot handle. Excuse me. I just find it funny that someone would go through all that trouble to make a ship like that, and then they would design it so badly that it cannot handle the weight it's designed to. Because I'm trying to fight gravity to back this thing out of there, and I can't.
Inventory full.
So to end off this episode, I don't even know how long this one's going to be, but to end off this episode, we are going to rescue our ship from the depths of this hole that it made. It went way past the iron. Can we get out of here yet? No.
Inventory full.
I can only carry 8 tons at a time. And no, I don't know what the magic number is. They said that it was 80%. It's clearly not. Atmospheric thrusters. We're only using 48% power. All right, we're able to back up. Come on. No? All right.
Inventory full.
All right, we should be pretty close to the weight that it needs to be down to be able to fly. All right. 111. 111 is the number. Come on. Come on, come on. Let's get ourselves out of this hole. Come on. All right. I didn't want to waste any of the iron. But it looks like I have to help with our corners and such. There we go. There's the landing gear, which means this is... Get to the front, please. Thank you. God dang it. It actually does the smart thing and it calculates my weight. So it's calculating my total mass, my weight, along with the ship. So if I weigh more, all of it does weigh more, which is accurate. It is supposed to do that. Space Engineers 1 at some point did not do that. Whereas you could cheat, essentially gravity, by saying, no, that weight is not in the ship, it's in the player character, and they calculate them separately, but they don't add them. Clearly in this, yeah, see, now that I'm lighter. So what we're trying to do is just make sure that our reverse thrust is enough to overcome the friction of the hole that we've made. And as much as I want to just mine out all this iron and keep it for us, I'd much rather try to get momentum on this guy and get him out of this hole. Come on. We're almost there. Come on. There you go. Good. Good night, everybody. Why? Why? Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Gotta figure out what direction the base is. Alright, it is that way. Alright. Come on. How many? I have 4 large. Oh, and I broke it. Did I break a thruster? Nope. Why? Why did that happen? That happened because a battery died? Everyone, I don't understand what in the daylights just happened. But we broke the ship.
Inventory full.
Alright, well the ship's on fire, so that's a thing. We are not going to reload. We're not going to cheat it.
Inventory full.
It is written, so guess I'll just take some of
Inventory
this and just try to fix the ship. It needs compressors and wires. Yeah, the ship's busted, dude. That ship's broken right now, anyway. I'm telling you, that makes no sense. I think it's because, realistically, batteries died. So a battery died, or enough of the batteries died that one of the thrusters was not able to function. Or what I really think happened is that that thruster was damaged by our exfil attempt,
inventory full.
and it would be, the ship would have been better off if I had fixed the thruster, but I didn't even know it was broken, right? And by the time I would have realized it was broken, I would have gone back and forth trying to do material transfer, and then the batteries would have died because I wasn't paying enough attention to that. So I rate this ship design, this blueprint. I mean, not amazing, but also I need to be honest with myself. I did not build the ship and then connect it to a connector and give it a chance to actually charge all the way. I need to be realistic and say, most likely, I did not give it a fair shake. So, just saying, man, again, this blueprint is so bad, and knocking on the blueprint. Most of this is probably user error, right? So, no, I'm not going to dog on the creator or their blueprint or anything they did with it decision-wise. There are some things that I would have changed, but it has nothing to do with the batteries, honestly. Seriously. It has nothing to do with the batteries. I would have designed the thruster system to be overpowered on purpose. And it's Editor Rensler here to say I was wrong. It was the batteries. They didn't have enough output to power all the thrusters. The batteries went above 100%. They could not handle the ship. The ship crashed. That's what happened. And in the next episode, congratulations, it's fixed. That's one of the primary changes I would have made. Okay, so we have all the iron from that thing. We're just going to let that thing sit there. I said we were going to be done with the episode once we got that thing out of the hole. And guess what? It might be on fire, but it's not in the hole anymore. So we're going to call this one. This has been episode 4. This has been an interesting one. I may tell you over a year from now what the break was, what the reason why we had the break there. For you is basically instant. But for me, it was not. Oh, I slammed into that. And that is 100% doing its job. I'm a fan of that. So we're going to do a lot more things. Oh, yeah, I probably should. Let's see. Module, yeah? Bunch of modules. And give you those modules. So the goal is to have a bunch of modules that are charged, just sitting out waiting for stuff, because it lets you have removable battery modules, and that's amazing. That's so cool for this game. All right, everyone. You've been wonderful. You've been amazing. You've been stupendous. I've been Rensler. And I thought something else was on fire. It's like, what is that noise? Is something else on fire? No. All right, everyone. You've been amazing. I've been Rensler. See you in the next one.